Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Rise and Grind. 72 the Architect, aka Jason B, live in studio right now, producing live on Wisdom, YouTube, Facebook, at Twitter and Twitch. So if you want to view me, tune into one of my social medias, whether it be on Wisdom or any of those other apps. And what are we going to be talking about? Are you meeting your own expectations? This is another part of the goal and productivity series. And it's very near and dear to my heart. And I've definitely had a weekend to be mindful exactly about that. So we're going to be talking about that today. It is currently, what time is it? It's currently 7:09 Pacific Standard Time, and I am basically on time for Rise and Grind. So thank you for those who are managed to show up. I'm definitely appreciative here, and we're going to get things going. So when I read today in the Daily Stoic, it really kind of pointed out to my topic before I even made it my topic. And it was like, am I really meeting my own expectations? Right. But this one was titled from Ryan Holiday's book, The Daily Stoic. He says on May 23rd, Show Me How to Live. That's the title of it. And the great Stoic philosopher Seneca from Moral Letters 49.10b says, Show me that the good life doesn't consist in its own length, but its use that is possible. No entirely too common for a person who has had a long life to live too little. That's very, very important. So Ryan goes to describe Seneca's quote. He says, There's no need to show Seneca, show yourself. That no matter how many years you're ultimately given, your life can be clearly and earnestly said to have had a long and full one. We all know that someone like like that, someone we lost too early, but even now think if I could do half of what they did, I'll consider my life well lived. The best way to get there by focusing on what is here right now and on the task you have at hand, a big or small. As he says, pouring ourselves fully and intentionally into the present is gentle, the passing of time's precipitation's flight. So the question of the day is, can I start living right here, right now? And many of us do ask the serious question of what am I doing the best for me? And am I reaching my goals? I really like the reading for so many reasons, and I'll tell you why. Because when I think about what have I lived with my own expectations, that's right, my own expectations. Am I in that place and am I clear, was I crystal clear exactly on the place that I needed to be? And over the weekend, I kind of had a hard weekend, and I definitely had some thoughtfulness and mindfulness of my own. I didn't want to get on social media too much. I didn't want to get on any of my platforms really that much, but I am going to be refocusing to be crystal clear of where I perform. So normally when I make Rise and Grind, I will be making it from Wisdom. I'll also be making it from YouTube, especially, and I will be listing parts of this talk especially on TikTok. I need more exposure and I need your support. So if you can subscribe and like, if you're not already a subscriber, please do so now. Now get right back and circling back into the talk. So, when I was thinking about my mindfulness and thinking about my daily practices, what am I doing on a daily? Am I rising to my own expectations in the morning? Right. And that means that waking up as I please, or waking up and doing exactly a regimen of things so that I am well taken care of. Now, I do have, some a significant other. I do have someone I do care for, and I have kids. I have a 26-year-old, I have a 14-year-old, and a 4-year-old. And I'm pretty much only responsible for really my 14-year-old and my 4-year-old, but still, my older daughter does matter to me. And do I have my kids' best matters in mind? Do I know that I can provide for their necessities and priorities? And am I helping them working with their own priorities? And so as I was thinking about mindfulness this last weekend, I was thinking, okay, where am I spending mindless time? And I started noticing that my behavior throughout different social medias, whether it be an audio platform like Clubhouse or even stereo or wherever, I noticed the level of gossip and the energy of that vibration, what it did. And not to say that I'm hanging around bad people or good people, but I started noticing the level of consciousness time and wandering in. I noticed some friends of mine or acquaintances, they started talking about other people and really harshly. And I've also been included in doing so. So that was gossip. And then one of the ancient rules, I guess, or laws, whatever you want to call it, in the Bible is like, be mindful of your gossip. It really does say that in different places. Be mindful of your casual word. So as I was reminded, I felt like, wow, I feel really horrible about hearing somebody, even if I'm not saying their name, still the intention is talking about how they perform. Do I think they're a fraud? So on and so forth. So that was one of my struggle personally. I was like, why do I feel so intensely about this? And so I was like, okay, this is my behavior. This is the environment. I am listening and I am adhering to what they're saying, and whether I like it or not, I can either choose to exit and go put my time where it matters most. That's my effort is my time. My availability is my time. So once I started, like realizing even last night, I was like, okay, I can do many different things between the hours of 7 and 9 o'clock when I go to bed. I could watch a movie, I could read a book, I could talk to my partner, I could do a lot of other things. Um, but the level of conversation and pressures that I basically felt was like I got into social medias. I was like, I don't feel so great. So, what was that really doing for me? That was giving me a strong indication that it's like, okay, am I meeting the expectations of me? And no, I wasn't. So I took that moment and saying, okay, as of today, I will definitely pay more attention to where my conversations go. I'm not going to have idle conversations as easily, and I'm not going to get lost as easy on people and things that don't matter. What does matter? Number one, my priority. Here's my top 10 priorities or top whatever. Number one, my overall health. I am spending a significant amount of money on my teeth. Why? Because I want to be able to smile with a great, pearly white smile. And I want to have good. So my teeth, how I eat, what I drink, how I sleep, so on and so forth. What goes into this mouth comes out of this mouth. It's not going to be trash. So, my health in that regard is very important. So I'm paying attention to what goes in my mouth. Next is my eyes. Yeah, I need to visit the doctor. I need to go put some time into, make sure that my vision is correct or what I can see is correct. And that's very, very important because I read, I these are very important tools of my body. So my mouth, my eyes. What do I smell? How do I feel? I feel according to like, hey, I'm type 2 diabetic. Am I really putting my mental health and physical health in connection to is my blood sugar too high or too low? Well, it's been extremely high for a very long time. And if I don't fix it, I'm either going to have a stroke, a heart attack, or worse, or lose a limb or lose sight. So, just this is perspective. So number 1 is the health. Number 2, okay, my career aspirations. Have I met my career aspirations? I'm not gonna say yes, but I'm well on the road, and I'm definitely making, quite a few steps. Now, what does that look like to me? Now, I have written down what my career expectations are going to be like. This is the lifestyle, this is the revenue of what it's going to produce. So when I understand what that means to me, crystal clear, no illusions, no vagueness, no none of that. When I understand what that exactly means, then I can really be my own best asset instead of, wandering time. Number 3, my family. And these are not like I mean, they are in order in a way, but then at the same time, my family, my 2 girls, or 2 of my girls that I'm still raising, I've got an issue. I've got to reconnect with my teenager. I've got to really be strong about with my 4-year-old. So my girls need me to be a stronger man and not vague or passive. So it's very, very important that I understand what is going to take place with them. So am I training my mind, looking at better parental models of my own behavior? How do I integrate those things with the growing times, because if you're not looking exactly about how your kids are growing in the age of technology and the age of social media, then you don't have a stake in the game. You really are going to fight a losing battle. And you know what? Definitely, I'm facing some of that personally. So, that is my family and also my significant other. My significant other is a very strong, beautiful, amazing woman. Is she being attended to? Is she having her needs provided for? Well, guess what? If I want to be your husband, then I've got to start stepping up. Yes, I've gone through some emotional stuff, but at the same time, what does she go through and how my provisions lead the way to help and create a beautiful, happy life. That's right. You heard it from me, a happy life. So, when we think about all these things and how they matter, I put it into three categories. Simple as that. And then there is a bonus, there is a fourth. My leisure. That's right. It's very important to have a hobby or to have something else that doesn't have to deal with grinding and trying to make money. There does need to be, hold on one second. There we go. There does need to be a consistent level of you getting away from your work, the demands of your family, the demands of your expectations. So allowing yourself to have space is very, very critical on an everyday basis. Are you making an appointment? And here's another bonus, my fifth, and I'll just leave it with this. I was talking to some friends yesterday about exactly this. How much are you assigning yourself time to learn? That's right, time to learn. I think that are we if we're trying to meet our own expectations, how much of learning and mastering in what we do meets that criteria? So if I expect myself to be living at a certain monetary lifestyle, then what am I doing? And am I learning and gaining and experiencing and enjoying all those things? I think it's very, very critical that a lot of times we don't realize how important that really is, that you assign yourself some learning time. It doesn't matter. I mean, you could be like, for me, I read books like this. Hey, I read The Daily Stoic. If people can see, let's see. It's got a little blurry, but hey, that's okay. But anyways, the point is that my own expectations of myself is, am I allowing these criteria to be met? So when I do work, I work. When I'm off, I'm off. When I eat, so to speak. And that's really the essentials. And there could be more you could add. I mean, you could add community time if you want, but what are the core essentials of what you got to do? So, hey, if my mental health and my physical health are most important to me, where my career is going with my business and so on and so forth, is my family's needs, are there being met? And also not just their needs, but my interest in them. That's what I forgot to add, is my interest in loving my family. And they are so very, very important to me on a daily basis. So where you're plugging yourself in and what you're getting out of it, that's really going to tell you exactly, are you meeting your expectations? So how can we really start training those things in those categories of what I was talking about? So, and that's the other thing. If I wanted to give you a basic list, here it is. You know, every night before you go to bed, something I've learned from several amazing speakers and influencers is write down a list of things, of priorities of what you need to get to tomorrow. And then after that small essential list, also write down your manifestations. Like, look, I am looking to becoming a healthy, fully integrated man. That's one of my own, right? And it's no accident. Or I am fulfilled in what I have. I am abundant. I am love. I am cared for. People around me enjoy my company. I can add, to consciousness. You can say whatever you want, but I mean, there's plenty of resources out there that actually can help you do exactly that. So by that, and then also I listed on my Instagram today, I was like a 30-day challenge of starting gratitude. I am grateful for. I am grateful, like, for example, here is mine. I didn't do it right when I woke up, but I'm doing it right here, right now on the air. And then at night, I'm also going to be at the end of the day, what am I grateful for? So here's my example. I am grateful to be alive. I am very grateful to have the opportunity to choose for myself and make a difference. I am very grateful. Thank you, God, and the universe, all that's created and all that exists. Anyhow, but the point is that's just an example of what you're grateful. And you don't have to create like a whole long list of grateful. If you want to, that's fine, but just be grateful. And at night, I will also reflect on my day and what I have gratefully experienced and learned, good or bad. Because that's the thing is, and I love kind of watching these mindfulness clips that I see. And one of those things is talking basically about Steve Harvey was saying, like, hey, you can't be afraid to lose. What does losing look like? It's not really maybe not what you think. We create pivots according to our fear of losing. So that's another thing. You want to start out and you want to make your day work great. Be mindful of how you anticipate or what you see about fear because fear will rob you of your presence. It will lead you to start diverting to other things, other people's causes and not your own. So, that is, meeting my own expectation. I'm not interested in worrying about other people's fears, woes, or whims. However, you know, I'm basically here to assist people in being who they are if I have that. But number one, I take care of me and that's it. If I can take care of me first and foremost, then I can be an aid to taking care of others. Recently, some friends of mine were saying, "Hey, why don't you become a life coach? Why don't you start doing this?" And I've kind of had some hesitation to even do so because I don't want to say well, I guess I would have to say I've kind of trash talked the industry, but I'm not interested in the industry in that way at this time. So it may change, but as a life strategist, that's really what I want to focus on. I'm not interested in being a coach, but a strategist. Hey, what are tips? I'm giving you clear methods, what exactly matter and how they work in my life. So the next big thing on meeting my daily expectations is understanding my power of my breath. That's right. If you don't understand about to be stop for whatever amount of time, even right now, to look at how you breathe as you speak can make a huge difference, right? So that I think that's something, and even telling you now, slowing myself down, slowing my conversation down. So that is a practice. As you were noticing, I was, spitting out words so fast. But now I purposely, through training, train my breath to start working in my conscious conversation with you all. So that is the most important part about breath work. And it's also a meditation when you're concentrating on your breath. It is a meditation on you, nobody else, not your problems, not your bills, none of that. So be mindful exactly about that. Number three, take care of your dwelling. Like me right now, I've got a mess that I got to finish up cleaning up before I start work. It's very, very important that before I leave my home, before I attend to everyone else, that my dwelling is in order because I want my home to receive me as a welcomed, loving place. That's right, you heard it from me, a loving, welcome place. It doesn't mean that you need to be an exactly a neat freak or anything like that, but make your bed, put your clothes away, pick up the floor, have it free and clear, and just think about what it symbolizes when you have a clear pathway in your dwelling and in your living, and not cluttered. You're not collecting stuff. You have actually a pathway to abundance, learning prosperity, building wealth, building a better career, and making money. And that also leads into what is my mindset on my things. A lot of times I want to buy new things, but am I structured to take care of my debts in exchange for wealth? And so, are you a debt payer or are you a wealth builder? It's pretty that simple. A lot of us are struggling to survive. That's not accident. And we blame a lot of the outside circumstances, the inflation, the food costs, the fuel costs. Is the government really aiding us? This is an election time of year coming up, especially for Californians. Now, I haven't even spent 1 minute, for example. A few weeks ago, I got my County of San Joaquin um, ballot voter information guide. Why is it so important to read this thing? Because the people that I elect, I cast my vote, get in a position to make decisions that affect all those other things. And do I have the time to get to know them? A lot of us will say no, but if you're complaining about your circumstances, you know, you've got to put a little bit of time. So assign yourself some time out of the day to attend to the community matters, because when you aid and assist the community with even just your vote or knowledge or understanding of how things work, you literally are helping the process, get better. So that is one of our major complaints, is how much conscious time are we putting into active live time and not dead time. What is active live time? Active live time means that you're purposely doing something in the moment that is not just benefiting you, but needs your time and availability, that needs your access, your expertise or knowledge or ability or action, whatever it is. But lifetime really matters, and it's not dead time. What is dead time to me? Dead time is having conversations that go nowhere, or watching mindless amounts of television where my imagination is being fed. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Anyhow, and having that mindset of understanding, dead time. How much TV time, how much internet time have you had? How much screen time have you had, period? A lot of that is dead time, unless you're conducting yourself in a lesson. Yeah, I do it all the time. How many hours have I watched on TikTok or YouTube or whatever? If I understand that if I'm not learning something and I'm just trying to be entertained, how much of my imagination am I giving up? So it's not wrong to watch television and screen time, but just keep things in proportion, And if you think about it, what matters to you is going to matter in the long run. So it feeds your pockets, it feeds your mindset. Can you walk out of the house without having your cell phone? A lot of us talk about conscious time. So now it's getting pretty close to wrapping up the hour, or I'm only on here for a half hour, 2 days a week, especially. And I will be working. I am going to be connecting with my co-host to also work on the blank canvas, part of what I do for podcasting and content creation. If you're not following me already, hit the subscribe button. I would definitely appreciate it. If you want to find me on Facebook, 72 the Architect, I do have a fan page or a working page for podcasting, as well as YouTube, Twitter. So yes, I'm on Twitter Spaces. I'm also on Twitch. Have I done very much? No. And so these are areas, look at areas of potential that you can meet your expectations on. By doing this, it's like, okay, I need to learn a little bit more about production. I need to learn a little bit more about, connecting online to a course that gives me the skills and tools so that I can design a great packaged good. So that's very, very important. Anyhow, so I've said a lot, and I hope that you all have benefited in the morning. It's Monday morning. If you said you were going to start working out, get to it. Get to your workout if you said you were going to start it today, or make sure that it is a priority to check that off and get it done. If you have not spent at least a half hour to an hour, assign, instead of watching TV time, even if you're tired, I don't care how exhausting it is, find something to learn, that you can really gratefully benefit. And, like, for example, I have really been wanting to learn about, let's see if I can share my screen. Okay. How to write better headlines for content, and I'm looking at Udemy, and I'll share my screen with you all real quick here. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, new, don't want that. Okay. Chrome. Okay. So, as a lot of us are seeing, I'm showing exactly, hey, this is a course. This is for me to learn today. I'm going to go through this lesson. And you can pay the price that says 9.99 for special, or you can pay the subscription 29. But what is this? How to write better headlines for content. Why is it so important? Because by learning how to write better, then I understand exactly when I come on here, when I'm making material, that not only am I meeting the expectations of what I envision, what I want to see, but also my viewers and how they can benefit. So, anyhow, but yeah, like I said, this hour is coming to a close. I've got 5 minutes or 4 minutes. If anyone's in the audience currently on Wisdom and wants to come up and add some comments, I have 3 minutes, exactly. So if anyone cares to come up, great. If not, we're gonna be closing the show. So, while I'm waiting, if any content creators wanna come on in Wisdom and wanna speak and add some of their thoughts, that's great. But at the same time, let's look at what are the things. Review exactly where your time is spent, where your availability is spent. Understand what are your expectations versus dreams and ideas. A lot of times, our dreams and ideas are not expectations, they're unfulfilled matters. So look at what you're attending to, how you attend to your life, your dwelling, your person. Are you taking care of that? So those are all great things. Well, anyhow, I think that's all the time that I have for Rise and Grind. Make sure that you tune in on next Wednesday, between 7 and 7:30, to hear great content, and make sure that you share with your friends. It's an opportunity. And if you have a topic that you want to discuss, hey, feel free to reach out. I would definitely appreciate it. Especially. Well, I'm 72 the Arctic, aka Jason B, and may you all have an amazing, blessed day. Let's see.